Hello, I'm David Hunt, CEO and founder of Hyperion Executive Search. Delighted to be with us today with a new client, Kevin Morn from Urbanvolt, for whom we're recruiting a fantastic and exciting role of sales director for the UK market. Kevin, welcome to the conversation. Good to have you with us. Can you briefly tell us just a little bit about Urbanvolt and what brings you to the point of now creating this new role for the UK?
Yeah, the Urbanvolt originally we founded in 2016 as a renewable energy company. Our first start was in lighting as a service into the commercial industrial sector. We grew that market across 9 different countries with quite a substantial installed client base.
Yeah.
And then just during COVID, we decided to start working on the external part of buildings. So we started rolling out our solar as a service offering, which effectively sees us putting solar arrays on top of large commercial industrial buildings at no charge to the client.
Right.
And then we just charge them for the energy they consume on a per kilowatt hour basis, typically about 40% lower than they're paying for grid-based electricity. Right. So as you can imagine, it's been a reasonably well accepted offer,
especially in the last couple of years when the prices have been so high, and they don't look like, and obviously they're not quite at the peak they were, but clearly for the foreseeable, energy is going to be again quite a challenge for many commercial industrial entities, which is why obviously there's such a big appetite for what you're doing. Is that one of the reasons that you're now moving? Obviously, very, very well established for the solar business in Ireland, but you're now bringing that to the UK.
Yeah, well, the UK market, we've realised, is reasonably underserved in this offering of commercial PPAs, power purchase agreements. I think the large multinationals are able to get these kind of PPA contracts, but for that mid-market, it just doesn't seem to be available. And it's the same thing we discovered in the Irish market. So the Irish market, very much for us, was an exploratory market because 75% of the Fortune 500 are represented here and manufactured here. It's a great market to establish a beachhead, and we're naturally being dragged to the UK by our client base and to other countries in Europe. But the UK is our we've identified as our number one growth market. It's hugely underserved.
Yeah, which makes it a great opportunity for this individual, right? And I think that's one of the things that we've seen, and we were discussing before, of course. Like you say, the opportunity is so big, and there are still so many commercial industrial roofs in the UK that aren't yet taking advantage of solar.
Well, that's pretty interesting because there are several reports that are only starting to come out now. The UK Warehousing Association is one of the more prominent ones where they surveyed their customer base. I think it's some 5% of warehousing roofs have solar on top of them, and these are great sites for generating clean, renewable energy. So I think the market is enormous. The potential is there. Our offer is strong and is very well received. So we're looking for the right candidate who can see the opportunity and help us build a model and a team to really penetrate this market rapidly.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit, because that's always an exciting thing, and we love working with this type of opportunity where it's a beachhead for someone can really take the opportunity and make something of it, with supported clearly by a very strong business, but someone who's got the capabilities to really think on a strategic level, and yet also, of course, have to be fairly on the ground and very active and executing the initial days at least. So tell us what I guess your hope is for the first year or so for this individual. What can they create? What can they achieve in that first sort of time frame?
I think there's quite a greenfield space for the right candidate. We're still quite an entrepreneurial-led type business.
Yeah.
So I think there's room for people to come in with good, strong ideas on how they've seen a gap in the market, or how they see to be able to build a market, build a team. They can pick and choose, and obviously with backup from parent co. Yeah. But in order to build their own team that they think will optimize the growth themselves. Yeah. I think the strategies are broadly similar. That's one of the good things, is across both markets, prices are roughly similar, costs are similar, the way we talk and sell is similar. So I think there's a lot of great groundwork done and a foundation there to build on. So we're really looking for an entrepreneurial leader who sees this as an opportunity to really build their own business over time in the UK with the support of Urbanvolt and our largest shareholder, Verdane.
Yeah, I think that's a really critical point. Do you know what? We talked about this, of course. I was a sales director from my previous solar company, which I founded, but I had the role of the sales director. And what you're able to do, which I didn't necessarily have at the time, was the support that clearly you want this person in front of people, impacting on deals, building networks, building the sales and the sales pipeline. You've got superb support in the background to be doing all of the bidding and the process and the paperwork. Is that right?
Yeah, I think, look, the operational side of the business, the nuts and bolts, and the financing side of the business are all well boxed off and well taken care of. So that part of the business is not something that they would need to worry about. It's being able to take that foundation and really drive into the market. This industry, in truth, and you've been in this industry, so you know it, it's very much about sales. Sales do sort of drive everything here. Deal flow through the business drives down the costs overall, which makes it easier to offer a cheaper or lower rates to the next batch of clients. It's this snowball. And I think we need the right person who's likes to lead people, likes to be in front of people, likes to be the face of the brand in the market, become an industry expert. It's that type of candidate we're looking for, because it's sitting behind a desk, day one is not really the role. It's to be out, it's to be a champion for the brand, and not just for us. Our job is we see it as to educate the clients and inspire them to make a decision. Now, sometimes they don't make the decision to go with Urbanvolt, and that is okay, because that, I think, is our goal, is to inspire them to make a decision and to do the right thing. We were Ireland's first certified B Corporation. B Corp, so we're very mission driven. So I think getting in front of clients and inspiring them to make decisions is what the goal of this operation is all about. Yeah,
really, that evangelist. Tell me a bit more about that, because B Corp is important, right? It's something we're looking at doing ourselves, and we've always been obviously clearly mission driven from the get go. Tell us a little bit about the culture of the business, because I've had the chance to speak to yourself and a few others in the C-suite, and it seems to be a very vibrant organization, build on a lot of passion, right? So perhaps, again, you can share a little bit about the culture of the business.
I think, it goes back to the founding of the business. The three original founding partners of the business all happened to, by chance, have two children. We'd exited other businesses, and we were sitting around going, how do we use, I suppose, our experience, and how do we use business for good this time? And as we built Urbanvolt, we started to think about the future and say, well, look, we may not be here at some point in the future. How do we hard code this into the DNA of the business? And B Corp was something that we'd seen emerging from the US, and it was starting to come over here. Companies like Patagonia, really mission-led businesses, were doing this, Ben & Jerry's. And so we started to apply for this process because we thought it would drive this into the DNA of the business, our original mission, and it would stop, in truth, us forgetting our original mission as well. And it's something that's an overarching in all decisions we make. So being a B Corp, we've changed the constitution of the company. So we don't just operate for the benefit of shareholders. We operate for the benefit of shareholders, all stakeholders, internal and external, to the business, and also to the communities that we serve. So it's a different way of looking at business, and it's a different way of making decisions. Sometimes they're suboptimal financial decisions that we make because they're in the benefit of the long-term growth of the business or the staff.
You say that, I think it's suboptimal in the short term, but in the longer term, certainly from my experience, is making long-term decisions, and sometimes taking a loss or a hit here and there is good for the long term. And as you say, about actually evangelizing for the service and for the solution and for all that solar can deliver is the right thing to be doing. And clearly you believe in that passion. So the individual, the sales director that we're hiring for, obviously we're in the process of supporting you with at the moment, and I'll tell people how to reach out in a moment. But again, perhaps you can just clear what are the one or two real clear key things that you're hoping to see from that individual, just to elaborate again.
I think we need to clarify and define our market. We have an understanding from afar of what the market is. So it's commercial, industrial, but narrowing it down into light manufacturing, heavy manufacturing, who are the optimal client and people who will get the most benefit from our offer immediately. So there's an initial bit of sort of clarifying that market, and that can only be done face to face with different types of client groups and seeing what resonates and what doesn't. Then there's, I suppose, an initial target in the first year. We would like to establish a beachhead across X number. That number will be in discussion with the candidate as to what's a reasonable, achievable goal to establish our beachhead in the UK. We already have a number of installations, a small number of installations from existing clients, so we have reference sites. But I think establishing a sort of a target, it's 20 megawatts of solar initially to get established that we can use as reference sites for future clients and clearly demonstrate the benefits of what we offer.
Yeah, no, perfect. Thanks very much for sharing that. So if you're interested in the role or know someone that would be, forward this on, myself and the team will be leading on this. So reach out to myself, my colleague Ross.hoare or Laura.sottosanti will be involved in the process. So reach out to us. There'll be some links in the details below. And hopefully if you're interested, you get a chance to meet with Kevin at some point. Brilliant to be working with you.
Excellent. Well, look, thanks very much for the conversation and hopefully you find the right candidate. We're excited.
We certainly will. Thanks very much, Kevin.
Excellent. Cheers. Bye-bye.